Since my current profession is private nanny, I did find an article in a magazine called Red Tricycle about a daycare center in Japan that has a robot assistant named Vivo. Now, the assistant is not the only one in charge. It does peripheral work, but still, we would expect Japan to be among the first to come up with something like that. Be that as it may, I doubt that the actual job of childcare is going to be given over to AI anytime soon. It's a lot more likely that, as Tim O'Reilly put it in the WTF book that I read, the AI that is already being used in the form of algorithms and other software used to find out details about our lives, the childcare professionals, and other citizens' lives, our potential employers, has a lot more to do with the current and will have more to do with the future state of the childcare industry. The childcare industry is actually in pretty severe trouble in the United States and in some other countries as well, because of the extremely low wages offered to childcare professionals. I think the average is something like $22,000 a year. I don't make much more than that myself, and I've been doing it for 10 years and have a degree, and it's very poorly compensated, and there's little to no training. Pretty much anyone can join a company like, or an organization like care.com. They do a background check, but that doesn't cover a lot, and then you can take care of someone else's children. Obviously, the education needs to be upped, the standards need to be upped, there needs to be testing, and all of that costs money, so then the wages would have to be much better as well. That brings me to gig economy, which is the crux of, well, one of the main points of the WTF book by Tim O'Reilly. And he unfortunately uses Uber as an example, and Uber has had so many issues. I won't even go into them, but judging gig economy based on Uber would be like judging our need to shake up the political status quo by Trump's presidency, which was terrible and laughable and an explosion of catastrophic buffoonery. Don't get me started. But the status quo does need to be challenged politically, just better. And we need to make sure that we don't ignore the lessons we should be learning from this presidency. And in the same way, gig economy is absolutely a necessary change coming in the future, and absolutely we will need to use all of the technology available. That's being made clear by this pandemic. Our algorithms and our software and the tech that we are using currently and the progress that's being made is of vital importance. If we did not have things like Zoom and Skype, we would have millions of children unable to continue their education in any way, and millions of people unable to make a living at all. I mean, people can complain about how badly it's done, but it's much, much better than nothing. And creativity goes in the direction that there is an opening for it. And this current pandemic is opening directions that we have not previously thought of. AI is no different. If in the future there is some massive discovery or improvements made to current discoveries in AI such that we could consider it financially or economically feasible to use it in some kind of broad way in the workforce, then humans' creativity will simply go down another avenue. Work will continue to change. The idea of one person gathering a bunch of job into a conglomerate and then offering it in chunks to other people that they have to fight over to get is a relatively new thing, and we will find another new thing. Gig economy is a step in the right direction. Advancement in tech is obviously a step in the right direction. And yes, of course, it will come with new challenges and new ways for people with ill intent to abuse those things. That is how humanity works. However, creativity and innovation and a depth in understanding other people and the needs of other people as we know more about everything globally because of technology, that is also the way humanity works. And humanity is a beautiful thing. It's ever evolving, literally and metaphorically. So I don't fear any change that comes to our society, economically or in the area of innovation, because we will roll with it. We always do. We make terrible decisions, or we allow other people to, based on our lack of discernment, and then we bounce back, and then we roll with it, and we create more beautiful things and come up with better ideas, and we will continue to do that. I feel like I kind of went on a tangent a little bit there, but I will attach below the different articles I read. A very interesting one on the BBC about changes that need to be made in the childcare industry that have nothing to do with AI, just in our economy in general. And another article from, I believe it was USA Today, and I'll link those things in the bottom. I enjoy Tim O'Reilly's book very much, although I feel like as a sort of Silicon Valley guru, he has so many friends who are kind of high up in the industry that he is calling into question, and so he had to sort of tread really carefully, which kind of made it sound like he was contradicting himself in some spots. But you know, when all your best friends are millionaires, I'm sure it's hard to avoid that. Overall, I felt many good and optimistic ideas were presented, and I enjoyed the book as well as this class. I've enjoyed this class very much.